Secretary Purisima, we're here at the IMF meetings in Tokyo, but we're here also to celebrate your achievements within the Philippines. There have been some notable economic successes over the last 2 years. Perhaps you could just quickly explain to us the actions that you've taken and the benefits that have accrued from those decisions.
Well, it's the implementation of the program of President Aquino, which is really good governance as the basis for a better economy. And we've implemented that initially in the fiscal area, where we've seen a dramatic improvement in efficiencies, although we're not still where we want to be. But we're encouraged by the direction of the change. So far, since we've taken over, I think we've improved the efficiency by about 2% of GDP. We've created the fiscal space by really just focusing on how we collect and how we disperse the expenditures, and we've also encouraged our citizens to be more compliant, although not all yet I believe, are there. From a confidence standpoint, the market has recognized it also, allowing us to have lower cost of borrowing, and investors, especially those in the Philippines, are now believers, such that they're committing substantial capital into the future. We're also addressing other constraints such as infrastructure. We finally get our PPP program going. Then we're trying to align our policies to make sure that we continue to make our economy more open to business and tourism. For example, we opened up the skies outside Metro Manila. That should help our tourism substantially. We're now tackling different difficult issues such as reform of sin taxes, incentives that should further make our revenue base more buoyant. We've also privatized a major asset. In fact, we got 3 times the base price. We just shows you the confidence that people has in the current administration.
Well, this begs the question that I think a lot of people in the financial markets are asking right now is, when will the Philippines get the investment grade rating that its performance seems to deserve?
Well, the market actually has rated us 2 notches above investment grade if you use bond implied ratings, which makes us probably the most underrated country in the world. Credit ratings are known to be lagging indicators. We're now 1 notch below on 2, and then 2 notches below on Moody's. I think Moody's is on the border of being probably erring on conservatism too much. No? I think we're addressing the concerns that they have. Our external position is very strong. Our reserves are at historic high. It's much greater than our debt. Theoretically, we're now a net creditor country. We even contributed to the IMF fund, $1 billion for the fund for Europe, and we are a structural current account surplus country. Our banks remain to be well managed by the central bank. Our price environment is also well within our policy range of between 3 to 5%.
The other thing that I think you've been focusing on a lot is the growth of capital markets, both in the Philippines and more broadly in the region as well. Have there been discussions this week about how that might develop, and maybe you could give us an update on the progress both within the country and within the region, and how important it is for the future growth of the region as well?
Well, in the Philippines, what we've been doing is to open up the longer end of the curve, because infrastructure is a key initiative, and we would like the funding to be initially in the peso market domestically. Before, the 25-year funding was not available, but we've made the issuances to make the longer end more liquid, to encourage banks to start offering longer-term funding in the country. I think we're making major improvements there. Then the fixed income exchange, we're also working hard to unify the market, to make it more efficient and to have more listings and to make it deeper. But I think the longer term objective is really to harmonize the various disclosure requirements and standards across ASEAN, so that we can have an ASEAN class of financial instruments which would have a deeper market, more efficient market, which would result to lower cost of borrowing for our corporates and our governments. I think this is especially important because with our increasing reserves in the region And with our need for infrastructure, which is estimated at $1.2 trillion by the ADB over the next 10 years, it's important that we recycle those reserves within the region, so that the decision as to where to invest them and how to invest them is within the region. The ASEAN Infrastructure Fund that the ASEAN countries agreed to, I think, is a good step towards that direction. If it proves to be successful and it's rated at least A, then it can be eligible for investment by our central bank and the other central banks, which now will help recycle those reserves for infrastructure.
And in your most optimistic outlook, how far away would you think that harmonization might be?
Well, we had a meeting we had a seminar in Hong Kong. No? I think with the 2015 target of integration, no? Things will start to move quicker, although we don't expect that to happen in 2015. But we probably will do it in the ASEAN way. Those that are able to be part of it will be part of it. So I think now Singapore, Malaysia, and another country, I think Thailand, have agreed to link their stock exchanges. No? In the Philippines, we're trying to create a Maharlika board that mimics the standards set forth in the region. No? So I think that should accelerate as we get to know better how to be part of one integrated economic community. Obviously, we're watching Europe from afar, making sure that we don't repeat the mistakes that our friends in Europe have made, simply because they've been 30 years ahead of us, or in terms of integration. So we have the benefit of hindsight, so to speak.
Well, we wish you luck with that progress, and we also wish you continued success in the Philippines. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your support. Thank you.